It's hard to deny the impact Xenoblade Chronicles has had on the Nintendo fanbase since its release, although that might be thanks to Smash Bros more than anything else. Psh, I liked Xenoblade before it was cool. I wish it wasn't so mainstream. Hashtag Operation Rainstorm. Upon its release, Monolith Soft succeeded in creating a game that not only put their team back on the map, but rejuvenated the genre. During the first stages of development, Monolith Soft's mission with Xenoblade Chronicles was to create a JRPG masterpiece by finding a balance between story and gameplay. They wanted to break the JRPG mold of story first, gameplay second, that in their eyes was growing increasingly prevalent. Now, 7 years later, Monolith Soft is returning to their story-driven series, improving upon the gameplay fans loved from their previous games. They could have easily rehashed the combat with only some minor tweaks, but that wasn't their goal. They decided to go a few steps further in almost every aspect of the word with Xenoblade 2. It shows that once they found a game style that worked, they didn't leave it be. They enhanced it, throwing in some new ideas and concepts.
Together with our Divine Father, the Architect. They called that paradise Elysium.
There's something about Xenoblade 2's combat that just clicks with me. Maybe it's the rhythm of the auto attacks, the execution of perfect blade combos, or the timing of button presses. Perhaps it's a mixture of all these mechanics coming together. Whatever the reason, combat in Xenoblade 2 is satisfying and engaging. In a way, the mechanics work like cogs in a clock. As a team, they rotate in harmony to keep the clock ticking. However, removing just one cog stops the hands from keeping time. The same goes for Xenoblade 2's combat. The individual parts may seem sluggish or confusing on their own, but once combined, they offer the most enjoyable combat in the Xenoblade series to date.
But I like the giant robots.
Excuse me, they're called skills, noob.
Canceling attacks while planning out my driver and elemental combos keeps me on my toes, more so than the first game did. The thrill of chaining attacks to finish off a particular difficult enemy is still as rewarding as previous Xenoblade games, maybe even more so. When executed right, you can get upwards of 1,000,000 damage points in one chain attack. Just one! Of course, leading up to this is easier said than done. Comprehending every detail can be overwhelming and even discouraging at first, but the game eases you into its intricate system during the first 20 hours. Personally, I was having a hard time wrapping my mind around the combat, until a boss battle in an alleyway in Torgoth, where I learned the art of canceling. That's when it clicked. All the pieces before and after that moment fell perfectly together.
I had ascended to the great beyond.
At that moment, I knew Xenoblade Chronicles 2's combat was something special.
As the driver of the Aegis, can you take me to Elysium?
As I mentioned in my previous video, blades are what make Xenoblade Chronicles 2 stand out more than the first Xenoblade and other JRPGs in general. They affect both the combat and the story, to the point that it feels like the game's world, all rest, revolves around blades. In combat, blades differ from each other based on their skills, element, and type. It's crucial for drivers to take advantage of their blades' abilities in order to take down the many high-level enemies of the game. Again, keeping track of all these numbers and details may feel overwhelming, but you'll get the hang of utilizing your blades effectively rather quickly. Once you do get a feel for your blades, combos begin to open up and soon you'll be doing damage averaging around 500,000 if you plan it out just right. Of course, not all blades are created equal, meaning some are stronger or more useful than others. There are also rare blades which have unique designs and are typically much stronger than common blades. Determining which blade is right for the job depends on the circumstances and your blade style. Personally, I found going all out on a driver's initial role of attacker, healer, or tank-er with rare blades was the best course of action. Although there's no guarantee you'll find the blade you want at first. You summon blades by bonding with core crystals, and some crystals produce rare blades at a higher rate than others. That said, rare blades are tricky to pull, no matter how rare of a crystal you use. It's sort of like summoning characters in Fire Emblem Heroes. Only this time you're not left with the unyielding, burdening guilt of spending your life savings just to find that spring bunny Camilla you so desperately didn't need but wanted. But worry not, waifu fans. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has plenty of anime characters to keep you excessively bonding with your crystals over and over and over and over again, until you find one that works for you.
It's a trap!
There are, however, other ways to find rare blades within side quests or even the main quest. I enjoyed most of these quests and thought they added more to an already compelling narrative. In fact, rare blades typically have a fair amount of character development, although some don't get the chance to stand out from the blade pile. This aspect was something that worried me going into Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I thought I was asking too much when I wanted to learn more about each rare blade, but surprisingly, Monolith Soft exceeded my expectations by adding side quests and stories that not only captured my interest, but let me connect to the rare blades.
俺さ、この命をくれたホムラのために二度と死なないって決めたんだ。だから絶対に死なない。
Diverting back to its JRPG roots, for better or for worse, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has much more of an anime vibe than its predecessor. Of course, the first Xenoblade also had its share of anime bits, but not nearly to this caliber. The art style, jokes, dialogue, themes, and pacing in Xenoblade 2 feel borrowed from popular shonen anime. Come on guys, it's a JRPG. Jello rock partying giraffe. What else do you expect? However, I still deeply enjoy these aspects, aside from an overused joke or two. Many fans will complain particularly about the change in art style. However, I find this to be a positive change rather than a negative one. The anime art style conveys emotions we didn't see in past games, which adds an extra layer of depth to the party. In Xenoblade 2, you blatantly see the difference between their fury, joy, sadness, confusion, and perviness. Oh boy. Oh boy. Plus, the character design for the main cast is top-notch. I love it. The rare blades are also nice, but they don't work for everyone. No. Like any well-made anime, the narrative is compelling. It continually introduces mystery after mystery, presenting more questions than answers at times. With each story layer peeled back, the player grows with the party and cares about their challenges and triumphs. It's easy to cheer for these characters, watching as they try to save the world they love. Unfortunately, I haven't finished the final few chapters yet. It's just so good, I don't want it to end. However, I promise I'm using my time wisely and effectively as I try to finish the game. But from what I've played, it's truly amazing. Monolith Soft are masters at creating ginormous gaming experiences, with over-the-top settings and stunning picturesque views. It's no different with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, maybe more so in some cases. However, despite its high ambitions, Xenoblade 2 falls flat in some moments, technically speaking, especially compared to Xenoblade Chronicle X. There are a few times where the frame rate drops, attack movements lag, audio pops in and out, and characters fall off the sides of cliffs. Okay, maybe that's my fault. Of course, these hiccups are far and few in between, so they never ruined my fun. However, Xenoblade 2 could have used a little more time in the polishing oven. In my humble opinion, a delay until next year would have allowed Monolith Soft to iron out the minor issues, and maybe, just maybe, improve the graphics to look a little more clean and crisp. Just a little. Actually, I don't think Xenoblade 2 was completely ready for its December 1st launch. The biggest example being the map. The map is not the best. It's certainly fun to fast travel from Titan to Titan, but it's annoying to go through the menu just to take a look at the map. Oh yeah, this circle thing doesn't help. Neither does that. Worst map in the history of maps, maybe ever. Okay, maybe it's not that bad, but it needs work. I'm not a huge fan of developers releasing their games before it's finished, but it's nowhere near a deal breaker. Plus, they plan on fixing some of these issues through updates and DLC, so I'm glad they're willing to work on it after release. Xenoblade Chronicles 2's soundtrack is one of the crowning achievements in JRPG history, maybe even video game history, based on the games I've played at least. It surpasses the amazing standards set by the first game by leaps and bounds. Sure, it benefits from HD audio and a live orchestra, but this only adds to how masterful this game's OST really is. Step back for a moment, away from the cutscenes and the combat, and take in the adventurous strings of Gormott, the soothing winds of Uriah, the powerful horns of Mordain, Within the game, each soundtrack perfectly fits the feeling and mood of its setting. It makes traversing through the many titans that much more exciting. No piece of music feels like it doesn't belong, unlike say X's new LA theme.
Oh, yeah. I can't hear you, don't wanna see you, don't wanna be you.
Even out of context, this soundtrack stands out as a masterpiece of music composition. Tangent. Is it just me, or does Mora Dane sound a little like Thriller? Take it away, Michael! Like I said earlier, I'm not finished with the game quite yet.
Still have some unfinished business to take care of. Yeah.
But what I've played so far is stunning, entertaining, and daring. Even with its anime overhaul, Xenoblade fans will fall in love with the wonderful combat and the breathtaking atmosphere. However, I can't give it a proper score until I've beaten the main story, and I'll be sure to post that score on our website. I also plan on making a completely spoiler-filled video where I'll go deep into the game and story elements that hit high marks, and some that may have missed the mark. This includes in-game content, all the rare blades, voice acting, character progression, and much more. Until then, go enjoy this fantastic game, and I hope you pull your perfect waifu. Are you enjoying Xenoblade 2? Let us know why or why not in the comments down below. If you want to see my wants and prediction for Xenoblade 2 before it released, check out my previous NintenCity talk on Xenoblade. Remember to subscribe to NintenCity for more opinions, reviews, and other things Nintendo. Goodbye, you good people.